Hello! Welcome to the start of a new vlog, our first as a married couple. We are in Grand Central Station right now, in case you couldn't tell. Starting our honeymoon. We're staying in New York City because of course with Mika it was impossible to plan anything, and so we're doing a staycation in New York, Vietnam, hopefully in February is the plan. But our first day of our honeymoon is starting right now. What time is it? Oh, there's a clock right there. It is 10:20. And on day one of our honeymoon, we decided we're going to go to Beacon, New York, which is like a small town right outside of New York, like on the Metro North, very easy to get to. And it's this cute little, artsy town. Good restaurants. They have a museum, cute little shops. So we're going to walk around.
I think we're going to like Lambertville more. But we'll see.
I've been to Beacon before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I like both. They're quite similar. Very similar to Lambertville, which is another town on the Pennsylvania and New Jersey border that we go to quite a bit. But yeah, so we bought our train tickets. We're ready to go. Greetings from Beacon. So far we've purchased a new garlic press because ours is like very rusted, and we bought a Coca-Cola syrup, and what was the other one?
A chai.
Chai, that's right. A chai syrup, and then a truffle hot sauce. Very us. I missed vlogging for like a week, and now I'm insanely out of practice. Andrew's like, "You're not going to capture this on video? This is like prime vlogging material." And he's right. Happy Wednesday. Yesterday I didn't vlog at all because, like I said, I'm out of practice, but we also didn't do anything extremely interesting yesterday. I cleaned out my greenhouse. I tidied up the gardens.
That's like interesting to most of your followers.
That's true. I just mean honeymoon interesting.
Oh.
Honeymoon specific.
This isn't really a honeymoon.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So did we told them that, right?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Well, okay. So we're not planning on doing a honeymoon immediately, as you may have told or been able to. We're not. Words. We're not doing a honeymoon right after the wedding. We're waiting until February to go to Vietnam then. It was just too challenging to plan something with Mika, and also the right season for Vietnam wouldn't be until later. So that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it's the monsoon season for...
Yeah, exactly. Monsoon season. So we're basically just hanging out in New York together for a week and doing our normal things with a twist of...
Except we went to Beacon.
Yeah, we went to Beacon.
And now...
Yeah, now we're going to Philly. So just little random day trips and eating out at our favorite restaurants and sometimes trying new things and just basking in the glow. Okay, a few hours later, I feel like I've had coffee now. I can speak more coherently, shall we say. So as part of this honeymoon, we've been just doing little, trips here and there, like little day trips or things that we wouldn't normally do while living in New York. To be honest, we looked up a lot of like best touristy things to do in New York, and we've done it, we're done pretty well actually. I think because people come and visit us quite frequently, we have an excuse to go see a lot of those more like touristy things. So we're trying to do things that we wouldn't normally do, and we love to eat out, so eating out is definitely like on the agenda for trying new restaurants, eating at some of our favorites. We went to Beacon, as you saw. Yesterday I spent the day like cleaning up my gardens, cleaning up the greenhouse, so that felt really productive. We've just been like, cuddling, honeymooning, lounging. But today we decided to take a trip to Philly, and then more specifically we also wanted to check out a town called Media, because Media is high on our list of places that we would potentially want to move to someday because it has great access to Philadelphia. Hello. It has great access to Philadelphia, so we're here to just kind of like check out the town and see if it's a place that we could see ourselves living someday. So we've stopped in the town, and we're at, what's the name of this place? Brick and Brew, a brewery. They seem to have a lot of breweries just like Philly does, which is exciting. But yeah, so far we're enjoying the town just from a general drive around. But here to check it out. And then we'll probably go to Philly after we've finished checking out Media in a little while. Lunch was delicious. We're now walking around Media, and it's great. So far, so good. Absolutely zero
It's a little sleepy,
complaints.
but
It's also the middle of the day on a weekday. Yeah. I'd be interested to see what it's like at night. Okay, so we're back in the car now after checking out Media. My thoughts are, I like the size of it. It's not so small that there's only one Mexican restaurant, one Italian restaurant, one, Japanese place. It's got like a couple, at least sometimes 3 of each of these, which is nice to just like have options. I don't want it to, we're coming from a very city life, like the city. So, I don't want to be so culture shocked that there's nothing, like nothing. That would be hard for me, I think. All right, what next?
I'm just seeing what's around here.
We are at Longwood Gardens. If you've never been before, it's an amazing botanical garden. So cool. The only time I've ever been though was in the spring, so this is my first time going in the fall, so I'm really excited to see how it's changed, and because gardens to the season is always different, so yeah, I'm excited. We're coming upon my favorite garden right now. This one is like a rose garden, kind of like an English style garden right here, and then there's a lot of like topiary behind it. So look how lucky, all these roses in bloom for the second flush of the season on the like David Austin style. They might all be David Austins. Look how gorgeous they are. This is a plant I'm dying to add to my garden at some point. It's called like Gara or butterfly bush or something like that.
And there's a grasshopper.
Where?
Over here.
I love this combo of the Gara with the grass. I love ornamental grasses. I think they're so underrated. Looks like the topiary garden is unfortunately temporarily closed, but at least we can see it. Pretty neat. guys, we're in Philly. We had cocktails at a place called R&D in Fishtown, and now we're going for dinner right now. I told Andrew he could pick whatever he wants, and whenever he's picking, it's usually Asian food of some sort. So we're going to some Chinese restaurant that he really loves. He's just paying for parking right now, and we'll be on our merry way. Okay, so for dinner we've ordered scallion pancakes, sauteed snow pea leaves. Andrew's ordered some sort of seafood bird nest or something like that, and I ordered a spicy chicken and peanuts. Oh, it does come in like a noodle bowl.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday? No, Thursday. It's Thursday. And we're back in the city. I am coming back from my nail appointment. I finally got those things taken off. I couldn't handle it anymore. They were too long. They looked beautiful for the wedding, but for my everyday, I just can't stand having nails that long. Today, Andrew and I are gonna go to maybe the park. Just have like a relax, chill day. Like I said, it's a very non-traditional honeymoon. We're just like hanging out together, and then the real honeymoon will be in February when we get to go on a trip together to celebrate the marriage. And yeah, so I also really would love to get a haircut soon. I've been letting it grow out since like spring to give the hairdresser as much length as possible to do, you know, what she needed to do with the hair. So luckily for me it turned out great, but it's so long, like way too long now, and I'm looking forward to doing a post-wedding chop. Nothing too crazy, but definitely something, you know, like right here ish, my usual, cutting off like 4 or 5 inches or so. So yeah, that'll be for a different day. For now, headed home, and I'm gonna see what Andrew wants to do today. I didn't get a chance to show you guys the garden yesterday, but look at this greenhouse. If I have a before picture, I'm sure I do somewhere, I will insert it, but holy moly, look how beautiful it looks now. It's so clean. So the tables are all clean. I've rinsed all of my trays to get them ready for some autumnal sewing, which I need to start like right now. I have, I say harvested, I didn't really harvest as such. I saved all of my allium flowers and just like plucked them out when they were over and dried them, because alliums, if you didn't know, make the most wonderful arrangements in Christmas time. Like you can leave them as they are if you want for like just dried goodness to put, you know, in a vase or something like that, but you could also spray paint them like gold or silver or something like that, something for the winter season, and they just look like these gorgeous little sparklers. So yeah, the alliums dry beautifully. Oh, by the way, you may recall if you've been watching my vlogs for some time that I did try to take some hydrangea cuttings. I was not successful. So to this day, still not successful at cuttings. I think what happened is I just left them honestly in too much sunlight, and it just like cooked them in here. I want to say I reset this the other day. Oh my gosh, but it literally got up to 104 in here just in the past couple days, and the hottest it's ever been in here was 116 or something like that, 113. So I think it just cooked them. I'll try again next year, and I'll put them in a more sheltered location instead of in the greenhouse. But yeah, that didn't work. Rinsed more of my pots. Here's some dahlias that didn't get to be planted because I just ran out of space this year. The dahlias are all very behind. A lot of that is because I didn't water anything. These are like my seed dahlias right here. But even like the non-seed ones, for example, are just like no flowers whatsoever. There's a few blooms at the other garden, the arbor garden, but yeah, so you can see like they really haven't even started blooming yet. So I hope I get something before the frost hits later in the year, which hopefully shouldn't come for another, I don't know, like month or so at the earliest usually. So yeah, that's why I need to get a move on sewing my hardy annuals for the year. But yeah, the roses are looking amazing despite almost no care this season. I hate that for them because I usually like to give first year roses like a lot of TLC and care. Like I feed them once every 2 weeks at least, give them really good waterings throughout their first year, especially as they're getting established. So it's unfortunate, but the ones in my black house garden, not a speck of black spot really. There's some rust on the leaves of this one right here, but other than that, they look really, really good. Probably because they have a lot more space over here than they do at the arbor garden. As for things that are blooming right now, the Verbena bonariensis is in bloom. It's really pretty, these like little purple flowers. These grasses, the Stipa tunissima, are just beautiful. Supposedly these are a tender perennial, so I'm hoping that they will survive over winter in my zone because they're just beautiful, like so soft, so lovely. They took a long time to get going, I will say, and they're still quite small. Like I sowed these in springtime along with a lot of my other plants, and this is how big they are now. These ones are in a lot of sun, but the ones over there don't get quite as much sun, so you can see the difference. They will survive in part shade, but definitely thrive with a little more sunlight. But yeah, they've been very slow to get going, so I hope they'll get like bushier as time goes on. But it's a really gorgeous grass, so if you're looking for like a short grass for the front of the border, this one I think would look amazing in front of a house too. Stipa tunissima. I'll leave a link to the seeds that I got in the description box below. We have some gorgeous zinnias over here. This is Zinnia isabellina. It's a lot more buttery in person than it's looking on my phone right now or on my camera. It looks like really vibrant yellow on the camera, but in person it's more buttery. So take that what you will. These were grown to be a wedding flower, and I think they would have been amazing in the palette. I was able to snip quite a few of those from these plants in here for the wedding. And then the real star right now is this vining black-eyed Susan, which is just beautiful. This is 2 plants right here, and I had to trim it way back because it keeps trying to like snake out into the pathway, snake out this way. So if you need like a really good annual climber that will get really big, look into the black-eyed Susan vine. It's really, really pretty. I have this one growing in mostly shade, and then I did have one over there, but that one was in much more full sun. Didn't like it. It really liked the partial shade. So if you have a trickier shady spot that you'd like something to climb, try out the vining black-eyed Susan. And then there's lots of things that I planted this year, but nothing that didn't flower this year. And I don't know if it's because they didn't get enough water or because it's that the plants are too young. But the hollyhocks right here, there's one right here, and then there's one over here, the big kind of fat leaves. Neither of those bloomed this year, so I'm just gonna leave them and hope that maybe they will next year. So I'm looking forward to that. The clematis that I planted, this is a first year plant. I didn't really know what to expect, honestly, but it was like tiny when I got it. It was like maybe this height of this thing right here, and now look at it. It's like grown, put on so much growth. This trellis right here is 5 feet tall, and it's already starting to like snake its way up the trellis, which is really cool. The hydrangeas, these are hydrangea blue jangles. I planted 2 of those. These are in quite a bit of shade. I didn't really know what to expect with these either, but hoping maybe they'll flower next year. We'll see. The tobacco plants are just going crazy. That's these right here. Those right there. Let me see if I can find one in bloom. They put out these kind of like trumpets of flowers. They're really, really pretty. Really pretty. Got a rose over here. This is the Lady Gardener, one of my favorites for scent. This one in Crown Princess Margareta. It smells so good. And the Bathsheba rose I tied in the other day on this trellis that you see right here. So it's also doing exceptionally well. I would love to get a good feed on these. Like I said, I've done a big trim back of everything, watered everything yesterday. a big clear out, but I really want to feed the roses for sure. So far, I've been very good this year about ordering new seeds and roses. I think I ordered so much last year for the wedding and just for various, you know, like buying flowers makes me happy. But I have a lot of seeds right now, and I also have a lot of roses. So far I've only added one new rose to my collection this year, and the only reason that I did it was because it is a very rare David Austin called Evelyn. She's very hard to get your hands on, and I love it. It's a beautiful rose. I wasn't even able to get it from the David Austin website. I got it from a rose grower in California who's selling a lot of her Evelyn rose bushes, and I managed to get one, which was very exciting for me. So I did pick that rose up, but other than that, I'm really gonna try to keep seed buying to a minimum unless it's like a favorite that I've run out of last year or something like that. I just don't think I really need more seeds. I have plenty right now. Famous last words, I always say that sort of thing and then go buy more, but so far I have really not even been tempted by new seeds. I have so many, you know, so yeah, I think I'll be mostly good for this year. I bought some Icelandic poppies because those are my favorites, and I run out of those every year trying to sow those. But so far, that and the Evelyn rose bush, those are the only things I've purchased. Oh, and the tulips, of course. Okay, I'm gonna go back inside, see what Andrew's up to. Hello. We're making today a very low-key day. We're going to home improvement stores because Andrew has to return a lot of stuff for work, and I needed some seed starting mix to get my hardy annuals going. Yeah, then we're just gonna like putter around the house and hang out together. So seems like it'll be a good day. Another successful trip to the big reuse. Every time we go there, we always find treasures.
Don't tell other people about it.
Well, that we've already told them about it before, but the problem is that it's good because there's no public transportation. So yeah. It's safe. Sorry guys, unless you have a car, it's really annoying to get to it. But yeah, so we're just finished at Big Reuse. I'll show you our little mini haul when we get back, but now we're going to a different thrift store that's in Carroll Gardens right now. Do you happen to know the name of it? Nope. I don't know. We went ages ago and it had some cute stuff. So we're checking it out for the first time in several years.
Oh, stop. Oh, 100, and they're going to shoot you down anyway, you know that.
We've just arrived. The place is called Yesterday's News. I like that up there. It's cute. And those. So I already have a thread tree, but it is a tabletop thread tree. It has sentimental value, so I don't want to get rid of it, but how cute would this be as a thread tree? Like on the wall, it looks like the perfect height for spools of thread. That would be amazing. Not that I need a wedding dress, but look how beautiful this is. Oh, so stunning. So if anybody in New York is getting married and needs a dress, Les Laurier in New York, it's got your piece. Just got back home. Here is one of the things that we got today at the Big Reuse. We are very desperately out of glasses right now, drinking glasses. They like are always chipping, breaking in the dishwasher, breaking because of us, what have you. And I saw a bunch of these in the thrift store for $1.99 each. So I got 6 of them. My love is in the process of pickling carrots, cucumbers, onions. What's going in your pickling mixture?
Rice vinegar, garlic, lemongrass, sesame oil, A little soy sauce.
Sounds good. We're doing a Vietnamese inspired dish. We have lots of ribs left over from the wedding, so we're gonna make like a ribs Vietnamese flavored salad with some of it tonight. Well, I was gonna show you the other things I got at the thrift store. However, it appears that someone else is enjoying my finds. Don't mind the 5-gallon buckets in here. I needed lots of buckets for when we were hydrating flowers for the wedding. Oh, yes, are you enjoying my new clothes? Guys, we have so much leftover wedding food. Oh my gosh. And this is only like a smidgen of what was left over. I really hope that all the food we donated to Strand goes
Into their employees' bellies.
yes, right into the employee bellies, because yeah, so we're just trying to get creative with how to use this. So right now we have these ribs, and we're going to...
We've repurposed them into a Vietnamese short rib salad with some pickled vegetables and lettuce and
yes,
the red meat, and you can see that it falls right off the bone.
Yeah.
That amazing.
But yes, if you are in Brooklyn and looking for a barbecue place to try, could not recommend Dinosaur Barbecue more highly. Both Dinosaur and Hometown Barbecue, I think, are like my favorites, but Dinosaur is much more affordable and has better sides, in my opinion, than Hometown has.
I think everything about Dinosaur is better than Hometown.
Oh, I like them both equally. I just think they have different flavors. You can get different stuff at Hometown. Like, I don't even think Hometown does ribs.
No, they don't. They do.
They do a lot of more brisket type of stuff,
turkey,
and like pastrami.
Pastrami.
Their pastrami is really good. You can't get. Yeah, it's just different. But yeah, so delicious, delicious, delicious. So these are the pickled things that. Yes, kitty. Jafar wants some too. The pickled veggies that Andrew put together. Yes. We're gonna add some peanuts, some chopped tomatoes. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's so good. Do you like it? Yeah, amazing. What did you put in the dressing?
A lot of fish sauce, a little oyster sauce, too much garlic,
Rice vinegar?
rice vinegar, soy sauce, fish sauce.
Yeah.
Did I say that already?
Yep.
Scallion, ground ginger,
Sesame seeds.
sesame seed, anise, and cardamom.
Oh, and cloves.
No, I put cloves in the pan.
Oh, not with the...
the...
Okay, I see. Yeah, it's really, really good. Good morning! We are on the Upper East Side to go to the Guggenheim today.
The what?
The Googs, the Googly Woogly. We are going to the Googly Woogly to check out, well, the building for one, because Andrew, an architecture degree graduate,
Architecture degree.
he's never been inside before, which is crazy, but he doesn't really care for Frank Lloyd Wright. Anyway, so we're going to it, and there's an exhibition all about a response to minimalism, which I'm excited about, because even though I live very minimally, I would consider myself more of a maximalist in terms of like my style.
You're not like aesthetically minimalist.
No, I'm not aesthetically minimalist.
Yeah, you don't care for a lot of mid-century modern.
Right.
You don't like boxy things.
Exactly. No convertible furniture.
Is that a mid-century modern thing?
It's not mid-century modern, but it is more minimalist because you want one thing to have several functions.
That's good.
So, anyway, I'm excited for this exhibit today. We are currently walking up Park Avenue to get to the Guggenheim. You can see the tips of it over there. And then after the Guggenheim, we're gonna go to one of our current favorite restaurants, Mission Ceviche. I'm obsessed. It's so good. It's better on the inside, yes, than it is on the outside. So unfortunately, the rotunda was closed. We got discounted tickets to go in, but there just wasn't like that much in there. Like the rotunda is kind of the point of the museum. Yeah, like we saw the stuff that we came to see. The response to minimalism exhibit was not, it was the weakest link in my opinion.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, but Ava Hesse's work I thought was interesting. She like revolutionized modern sculpture, and their permanent collection that they have was really interesting. I thought they had like the usual suspects of more
They had the
like Picasso and Degas and
but they were all like kind
Cézanne,
of off from what
Rousseau, but it wasn't their typical painting. It was like the person who collected these collected their offshoots, like stuff that was different from their normal catalog. So that was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I'm not the biggest Picasso fan, but his Picasso, there were 3 Picassos there. And one of them I was like, I would never have guessed that
was him. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So we are headed to lunch right now. We're going to Mission Ceviche, one of our faves. I can't wait. We're actually taking a ceviche making class tomorrow. Because why not? But yeah, we'll take you along with us. So we are here at Mission Ceviche. We've ordered a spicy raspberry cocktail. Raspadilla, excuse me. Raspadilla. Excited, and we're doing the tasting menu. So this is the second course, a tuna tartare. Andrew's obsessed.
Right here, whenever you're ready.
Blessings on blessings. Please go right ahead.
Hello. It is several hours later, as you can see by how dark it is and my showered appearance, etc., etc. The dinner at Mission Ceviche was, oh my god, incredible. They were doing a tasting menu. We've never done a tasting menu there before, but we love Mission Ceviche. It's like our current favorite restaurant, and so we decided to do the tasting menu because we love doing tasting menus, and it's our honeymoon, you know, ish. So let's do a little splurge. And so we did it, and it was so good. We just were like at a loss for words the whole train ride home. We were just like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was just so neat to like get to experience somebody's creativity. The chef just did like such an amazing job. If you were ever in New York City and if you like seafood, ceviche in particular, I really cannot recommend Mission Ceviche highly enough. I will link it for you below, but yeah, it was so good. And tomorrow we're taking a class about how to make ceviche, and it's at the chef's personal apartment, which happens to be somewhat close to the Mission Ceviche restaurant. And now we're like, what if it's the chef that like runs Mission Ceviche? Like, how crazy would that be, you know? So we'll see, but yeah, we're excited for that tomorrow. So yeah, once we got home, we had a little bit of daylight left, so I wanted to just like putter around in the garden for a little bit, experiment with taking some more cuttings like of the salvia that's in my garden. And yeah, so I've not been successful at taking cuttings at all. I think it's just like I mentioned, maybe I think I talked about this before, where it was just too hot and in direct sun in the greenhouse, so that like wasn't working out. But I'm gonna give it another go. We'll see. We'll just keep trying until I get it. So yeah, So yeah, we're at the house right now, just chilling and relaxing. I got a new gardening book. I ordered like 4 new gardening books actually from Thrift Books. My latest, this is one that I've been wanting for quite some time, just haven't had a chance yet because I want to work through the ones that I have, like basically almost this whole shelf, not the whole thing, but a good chunk of it from, yeah, actually almost all of it. This shelf is like all gardening books, and I read a majority of them last winter. I still have a few that I haven't read, but I've read a majority of them last winter. So I wanted to stock up on a few more for the upcoming winter season for some armchair gardening during the colder months. So this is one that I got. It's The Complete Gardener by Monty Don. This one is a beast, and I'm not exactly sure how it's set up yet, if it's like more practical, if it's more storytelling, probably a mix of both, knowing Monty Don, because that's characteristic of a lot of his writing. I've read like 2 of his books now and I really enjoyed them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It looks, man, it's kind of hard actually to figure out the structure of it. I'll report back once I figure it out, but yeah, so I'm excited to read that. And then I pre-ordered this book much earlier. Actually, I think I pre-ordered it last year, but it wasn't actually released until like April or May in the US. And it's this one right here, From Seed to Bloom by Millie Proust, or Proust, I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. I follow her on Instagram. She takes absolutely gorgeous photos. And I've shown this when I received it a long time ago, but I haven't read it yet, but the photography looks like so good. So I'm really excited to dig into that. And then 2 books that I'm returning to because I feel like they are so amazing. Ugh. Sorry, I'm stretching to get them. This one is one I got from Thrift Books a while ago, and it was such a great resource. I read it cover to cover. It has so much information packed into a small book, and it's called Cool Flowers: How to Grow and Enjoy Long Blooming Hardy Annual Flowers Using Cool Weather Techniques by Lisa Mason Ziegler. So this is a really great book for how to extend the harvest, especially if you're in like US zones 6, 7, and 8 especially. It will teach you about hardy annuals and how we can be sowing a lot of flowers and sowing a lot of seeds and crops right now to get a jump start on the season for next year. So you end up with a lot more robust plants. They'll start flowering earlier in the season for you. So yeah, if you're interested in that, Cool Flowers by Lisa Mason Ziegler. This one's really good. I'm just going to refer to it again because I need to be sewing things right now. And then probably my #1 favorite gardening book of all time that I've read so far is A Year Full of Flowers: Gardening for All Seasons by Sarah Raven. This one is so useful. It's just packed with so much info. This one is such a fantastic resource. I love how it is organized by month. And then she talks about flowers that are in season within that month, things to be sowing in that month, what you can be pulling out in certain months. And then she'll also give, see, like here's August, for example. So she kind of gives the jobs for August and like what's happening in August. Beautiful, helpful photographs throughout. And then when she talks about like certain types of flowers, she'll give you like a bunch of her favorite varieties. So here we have Best of the Tender Perennial Climbers, and then she'll give her favorite tender perennial climbing plants. And this is all like relevant to August flower growing. So yeah, I really recommend this one. It's my #1 favorite gardening book, A Year Full of Flowers: Gardening for All Seasons by Sarah Raven. But yeah, so I'm going to be referring to these 2. This one I'm not really ready to read yet, but it's just, I pulled it down from the shelf over there to kind of give it a look through soon-ish. But then this is my newest edition that I am excited to dig into. Yeah, so here's like a little preview. So there's something about summer bulbs, early irises. So far I can't really tell how it's a chapter on bulbs in general, so it looks like it could be fairly comprehensive, but I'm just not exactly sure. Herbaceous perennials, how it is organized yet, but I'll report back on what I think.